Good afternoon, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Ma, and Ms. Wu. We're senior consultants from McKinsey Company. I'm Irene. These are my colleagues, Cheryl, Leo, and Pao. Personally speaking, I have been a loyal buyer of Taobao since you launched this e-commerce platform in 2003. During the past 5 years, we have seen Taobao's success of gaining over 84% of the online shopping market share and Taobao's success in changing every individual's consumption pattern. Definitely, Taobao has changed our life. As consumers, we always hope Taobao can have a better future. As consultants, we're here to present you 2 monetization strategies. We will start from your comparative advantages. First, we have noticed that you always pay attention to localization. Your design of Taobao's webpage and navigation system have successfully suited the consumption patterns and adapt to local culture. Second, we appreciate your effort in building mutual trust between sellers and buyers. Your genius design of Alipay and 11 Instant Chat have contributed to this. Thanks to localization and mutual trust, Taobao now becomes the largest market leader in China's e-commerce industry. Taobao serves as an online free exchange platform because you always aim to help small businesses to prosper and help individuals to realize their business dreams. However, given limited source of profit, Taobao now needs new monetization strategies. In the following presentation, my colleagues will present you with our 1 situation analysis and our 2 strategies, Taobao Pay and Taobao Consulting.
As we all know, Taobao is now competing in the e-commerce market in China. This newly emerging market has always changed the market form, like the operation method, and have a great influence on the consumer behavior. There is no doubt that Taobao is a pioneer of this market, and we can see how successful your company is. However, as the Chinese market has becoming more and more profitable, it had already attracted some other companies like eBay and PayPay to compete with Taobao. Currently, Taobao has gained the market share of 84% as mentioned before, and the profit for 2007 is around 0.97 million. It is an outstanding performance without the transaction fee policy. However, our team truly believes that Taobao can earn more and go even further with the help of the large market share in hand. The large market share in hand is your valuable competitive advantage. Back in 2006, Taobao has launched a value-added service, 招财进宝, which allows sellers to bid for keywords in order to boost their sales. From buyers' perspective, 招财进宝 has improved the searching machine and gave them a better online shopping experience. Indeed, it was a good try for monetization. Nevertheless, it can barely satisfy all the needs from all kinds of stakeholders. For instance, small-scale sellers might feel that it is more hard for them to explode in front of buyers because they have less budget than the large-scale sellers. As for buyers, there were possibilities and concern that they might have to bear a part of the cost of the keyword bidding because the sellers might always transfer the cost to increase their selling price. So, considering the previous and current situation, our team has figured out 2 solutions, which are Taobao Pay and Taobao Consulting. These two solutions are based on a set of criteria. The first thing is the high effectiveness in helping you to monetize Taobao, which is the main goal of our projects. Also, the financial data will be provided as well. And the second thing is we would like to ensure the fairness to all kinds of users in order to gain the support and trust from them. From now on, Leo and Paul will give more details on these 2 solutions.
So for the first recommendation, we would like to introduce to you Taobao Pay. Taobao Pay is a new service that will help the customers to settle their monthly bills, such as their water bills, electricity bills, and their phone bills. So why would the customers want to use this service? It's very Simple. It's because it's very convenient. Because originally, the customers have to pay all of the bills separately in different places. However, with this new system, they can just pay all of the bills with just one single click, online, without even having to step out of their homes at all. However, since the customers might be too used to pay their bills with the traditional method, so it might take some time for them to get used to the fact that there is such a convenient service available for them to use in the future. Moreover, there will be a point awarding system that is included in Taobao Pay. So for every 1,000 yuan that they spend paying bills, it will accumulate 100 points, and that is equivalent to 1 yuan. And since the points are cumulative, so that means the customers can store their points and to exchange goods in Taobao in the future. Moreover, there's another advantage of Taobao Pay, is that it can also attract more non-Taobao users to sign up for Taobao and use this convenient service. And due to this reason, it can help boost Taobao's reputation and also the numbers of customers. So now let's look at how to monetize the system. So in this system, it will charge 1% service fee on top of the amount that they have to pay for the bills originally. But then the question is, how do you get those corresponding companies to work with Taobao Pay? And the way to tackle this challenge is by offering those corresponding companies a 30% of the 1% service fee that Taobao Pay charges. And surely those companies wouldn't mind gaining a little bit more from every single one of the customers. Now let's take a look at the financials of the system. In 2007, there are 46.2 million users, including both buyers and sellers that are using Taobao. So assuming that there will be 10% of these users that will use Taobao Pay, and their monthly bills would cost around 500 yuan on average, it can bring Taobao a gross profit of 16.1 billion per month. Also, there's another advantage of Taobao Pay, is that the fact that the setup cost will be quite low, because Taobao Pay works quite similarly with Alipay, and Taobao can just build on top of Alipay to create Taobao. So now, let's take a look at the second recommendation.
The second idea to monetize Taobao is called Taobao Consulting, and consists of two parts that work best together as a package. The service is aimed at sellers to help them boost their sales in a more fair way than keyword bidding. The first idea is to provide aggregate reports to sellers about their buyers. The reports would contain data as age, gender, ethnicity, location, preferences, numbers of use, etc. To implement this service, Taobao needs to do two things. First, hire data specialists that will provide required codes and infrastructure for the service to work. According to our research, it can take up to 2 months and cost up to 700,000 RMB to implement that. After that, Taobao will have to hire one data specialist that will work full-time to maintain the service, and whose yearly salary would be around 420,000 RMB. After that, Taobao will have to gain as much information about consumers as possible. With the engine, it will be quite easy and cheap to implement. Taobao could use an incentive of Taobao Pay points to the customers, so they provide information about themselves. After the service is fully implemented, one report will cost 500 RMB, whereas an annual subscription, which is our main focus, will cost only 1200 RMB, which will generate a report every month. Let's assume that merely 10% of users, 10% of sellers choose to buy yearly subscription. It will result in 276 million RMB of revenue a year. The second idea is to provide a consulting service to Taobao sellers. Taobao consultants will work together with sellers, analyze their reports, as well as the seller's activity in general, to help them boost their profits. This service is more tailored and will require more custom and dynamic pricing. Taobao Consulting does have some risks, but we try to minimize them. In case of the aggregate report, if there's not enough demand, the 700,000 spent on the engine will be lost, but it will not be fully lost, as Taobao will still end up with a powerful engine that will be able to gather information about both sellers and buyers. If this information can't be sold to sellers, it can be still used internally by Taobao for research and marketing purposes. In case of Taobao consulting service, to minimize the risk, we suggest that first Taobao should hire outside consultants to do the job. Yes, it will be more expensive, and in short run, Taobao may even end up with a loss, but it will be a great way to test the demand and effectiveness of the service. If the service is received positively and the demand is high enough, then Taobao will hire its own full-time consultant that will specialize in Taobao consulting. It will greatly reduce the costs and increase the profits for Taobao.
Now, based on the set of criteria we mentioned before, we would like to evaluate our two strategies by effectiveness and fairness. First, Taobao Pay will help you generate 16.1 million yuan monthly, and Taobao Consulting would help you increase your revenue by 10% if only 10% of the sellers use this service. Second, as for fairness, Taobao Pay aims to help every users of Taobao to pay their monthly bills more conveniently, and Taobao Consulting would also offer assistance to every sellers regardless of their skills, helping them to prosper. Now, I would like to conclude today's presentation by introducing the timeline of our plan. This year, 2008, we suggest you to focus on the preparation, including technical setup and seeking for cooperation. 2009 would be the time for trial operation, and we suggest you to officially launch this project in 2010. Hopefully, by 2011, you could generate enough profit by our monetization strategies. Thanks for your attention, and that's all for our presentation. Now we will have a Q&A session. If you have any questions regarding to Taobao Pay and Taobao Consulting, please come to us.
I would like to ask, as you know, there are many sellers in Taobao, and for Taobao Consulting, how many consultants do I need to hire? And it will be has a very large workload for the consultant to handle this much of sellers, right?
That's why at the beginning we proposed first to hire outside consultants. They would be paid by hours of the work they do. So at the beginning, Taobao could just pay them hourly for what they do. So Taobao wouldn't have to. Taobao, it doesn't matter how high or low the demand is. Taobao could always ask outside consultants, and then after some time, well, when we have enough information to know how many sellers will be using this service regularly, then based on that, Taobao can estimate how many full-time consultants it should hire.